I was taught by being shown. When my teacher passed, I spent 3 moonless nights in the crypt with his body, talking to him, and him teaching me the last lessons. It wasn't YouTube. I don't know what that is. See if you can go to
Just click that. Just click it.
to make sure that it doesn't the web thing isn't on. Or something it hooked to the well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay. This is a good rendition of going to the infraparticle realms. And I use this example again from Marvel with Ant-Man. Now you can imagine on a Saturday night, getting smaller and smaller, going into the infraparticle realms. Now, you're not watching this like you're watching a movie. This is you going through these different subatomic realms. And this ain't the trip. This is on the way to the trip. You don't have different trips, it's only one trip. This reality is part of that one trip. We're only on one trip. This is you in the infraparticle realms, getting smaller and smaller, going into other realms of existence, embedded in this technology, this grand technology where the super servers are dealing with the algorithms that bring about the macro universe from the micro universe. As I said earlier, we went to the Tassili and I got the kale wrap today. And this is the Tassili Plateau at Egyr in Algeria. And it is one of the repositories of mushroom knowledge and information. This is the bee shaman, where these mushrooms are sprouting out of the body of the bee shaman. Now, of course, we don't have shamans in Africa. We don't have gods and goddesses in Africa. We don't have God in Africa. We don't have those concepts. But for, informational sake, they call this the bee shaman. Because shaman only come from up in Mongolia and places like that. They're the Santa Claus, they eat the Santa Claus mushroom. Sort of red and white suit and all that kind of stuff. In Mongolia, the snow gets so high that it goes up over the door. And so the only way that the shaman can get into the house is to climb up on the roof and go down the chimney. But it ain't no chimney like, the little, it's a big hole in the top where the smoke goes out. So they let him down, and then he's coming with his bag of mushrooms because he's going to diagnose and do different things and stuff like that. So that's where you get the Santa Claus thing, paired with, St. Nicholas, who was the patron saint of prostitutes, thieves, and skullduggery, and you get Santa Claus. And of course, our rendition of Santa Claus comes from Coke, the night before Christmas and all through the house. Now the creature was staring at even mouse. That's all the poor. They come from the 20s. This is a rendition on the actual wall of the bee shaman. These are what they call a dancing shaman. They're beshroomed, because you can sit down, with some people in a group shared experience and eat the mushrooms, and people's heads start turning into mushrooms. So, you see them, and it's like beshroomed. You can see the dots going from the mushrooms to the crown in the head because it affects the pineal gland. When actually it affects the neurochemicals that are in and secreted by the pineal gland, because you also have darkroom technology, like the Anatolian civilization in Turkey, where you have labyrinth caves where you had different strata, where the priesthood would be in the darkest part of the temple. And I believe it's Montauk Chia has a dark room retreat in Thailand where it's absolutely dark because you go down under and into a facility that's completely dark. You can't have a pinprick of light. Because if you have a pinprick of light, then it stops the melanin production or melatonin production. So you go into complete darkness for 7, 14, 21 days. But these priests would be, the last whole half of their life would be in darkness, so they would be in a continued psychedelic state. That's why caves, pyramids, labyrinths, all of these things facilitate the pumping of melatonin and also the sequestering from the pineal gland the beta carbolines, your harmine and harmala, and pinealine, which is the superconducting supermolecule that binds with DMT to give the experience in the hyperdimensional realms. And then they would take the mushrooms and stuff all along with it, so you get a super boost. You go, you spend 14 days in total darkness, pumping your melatonin, and then you eat 30 grams of mushrooms, and you off. Now they knew how to draw. When Pablo Picasso went and saw these, whatever the last couple in France, but when they saw these cave paintings, he said, "We'll learn nothing. It was already done." So these are drawings on the walls at the Tessellé Plateau in Algeria. So we knew anatomy, we knew how to draw cattle, because the mushrooms grow on cow dung. They have sequestered themselves into the lowest areas of nutrition. So they get their power and information from the great cow. That's why you have the whole similarities of Het Haru being the mother of Haru, the house of Haru. The information of the falcon is piercing sight. In the first levels of mushroom ingestion, it makes you see better, sharpens the edges, makes the colors more vivid. They jump out at you. And to a group of hunters and gatherers, that's an adaptive advantage because you can see food at a farther distance. Which means maybe the difference between life and death. You can see that bag of potatoes 200 yards away, where if you didn't eat the psilocybin, the magic mushroom, you couldn't see it. You walk right past a bag of potatoes that would save y'all from starving. But it also gave information from the hyperdimensional world. So the second level of ingestion is that it's a true aphrodisiac. Not like what they call aphrodisiacs, which just give genital itching. It gives what's called CNS arousal, central nervous system arousal. Central nervous system arousal in the male is erection, antsy feeling, can't go to sleep. You're standing around and it's erect, so you might as well use it. And I don't want to hurt the sensibilities of the sisters, but that's I'm talking about the past. We're not in the past anymore, we're in where we're at. Mother Nature made the male larger so that he could impose intercourse. That was marriage. You get caught, you're married. Now if you get caught, the guy go to jail. Unless you're in on the game. So we knew how to draw. And in a time when nobody on earth had a pair of shoes or a pair of drawers to put on their behind, just out of the clear blue sky, they draw this on the they draw this on the cave. Now where did they get that from? They had no precursor to that. You walking around with feet, naked. Ain't nobody got no shoes on. Ain't nobody got no boots. Ain't nobody got no pants. Ain't nobody got no Batman utility belts. Ain't nobody got no shirt. Ain't nobody got no space helmets. Where did they get this? Either they came down here, they saw them and they drew it, or they ate their mushrooms and saw these folks in the midst of their travel. They came back and drew what they saw. Because they weren't just messing up, because they knew how to draw. They knew how to draw hippopotami and rhinoceros.